The Rundown with Jeff Michael.
We were talking about the home run derby. It's in LA. And you said bring back some old school players. What if you brought back Bonds, McGuire, light skin Sosa? That would be bigger ratings than the actual home run derby. 1,000%.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the NHL Seattle Kraken. And when I want to catch up with young sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Surge.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio. At Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Cubs hit the Pirates 3-2. Nico Hoerner hit a tie-breaking double in the eighth as Chicago extended a twin streak to 5 games. Hoerner finished with a pair of hits and 2 RBI. Rafael Ortega homered for Chicago, and Sampson pitched 7 innings of 2-run ball. Josh Van Meter hit a tying RBI double for the Pirates in the 5th. O'Neill Cruz singled home run. Gary De Los Santos suffered the loss. At Fenway Park, the Red Sox beat the Guardians 3-1. Alex Verdugo hit a tie-breaking double. The Guardians have lost 3 in a row. They're 3.5 games out of first place in the American League Central, chasing the Twins. The Reds pounded the Marlins 11-2 on Monday. Jonathan India hit his first career grand slam. Brandon Drury connected for a 3-run shot. India and Donovan Solano each had 3 hits as last place Cincinnati improved to 9-4 in its last 13 games. For lightning fast sports updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of the most popular sports apps in North America. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and reduce friction and wear. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $33.99. Try Syntec today, exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council. Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Mill Creek Golf Course features two 18-hole championship courses designed by Donald Ross that opened to the public in 1928. The PGA professionals and course staff are dedicated to giving golfers a memorable experience and offering everything from golf instruction packages to a Players Club reward program. The award-winning Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for the 2022 season. We are happy to announce that we are sold out for golf outings and tournaments. Follow us on Facebook or online at millcreekmetroparks.org or call the golf shop at 330-740-7112.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio.
Mill Creek Golf Course features two 18-hole championship courses designed by Donald Ross that opened to the public in 1928. The PGA professionals and course staff are dedicated to giving golfers a memorable experience and offering everything from golf instruction packages to a Players Club reward program. The award-winning Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for the 2022 season. We are happy to announce that we are sold out for golf outings and tournaments. Follow us on Facebook or online at millcreekmetroparks.org or call the golf shop at 330-740-7112.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
It is time for another episode of By All Means right here on Western Reserve Radio, Season 3, Episode 25, presented by Mill Creek Golf Course. Visit millcreekmetroparks.org for more information. Find us on Facebook, Western Reserve Radio. Find out what's going on Twitter at WR_radio. Download the Live 365 app or tune in to listen to our shows, including the upcoming high school football season, or go on over to reserveradio.com. We continue talking local high school football coach leading up to the start of the season. On the phone with us is Salem head coach Ron Johnson, who joins us in his 11th season. And Coach, I believe we go all the way back to year one. We just started off with the Quaker program. It's good to catch up with you.
It's been a while, and it's been a great 11 years. And it's nice to have you guys with us each week, and probably some of the only fans we had that first year.
Well, let's look back at last year, Coach. 2021, your Quakers in 4. 2 of those 4 losses came in very close games in overtime. You got knocked out of the postseason by Ursuline in round 2. When you look back to last year's 8-4 season, what do you take from that season?
Well, I tell you what, we had very high expectations going into the season last year, and thought that we could run the table during the season, make a deep playoff run, and it's just how fickle the game of football is. Like you said, we lose 2 overtime games and another game on a draw pass with no time on the clock. So I mean, we were right there to make those expectations come true, but it let our guys know that anything can happen in the game of football, and you want to make sure you can control everything that you can.
You look at the upcoming season, you've got your son coming quarterback who tallied 55 touchdowns last year, almost 3,000 yards through the air and over 1,000 yards on the ground. It's got to be assuring to have an experienced veteran quarterback back to lead their offense this year.
Well, it is. That's the key position on any football team, and the fact that we have Jackson back to be a 4th-year starter now, and it gives us some stability there. We're really, really strong in skill position, but we lost 124 starts in line. We have 4 new guys coming in up front, and I think having a guy that's got some experience there and some stability at that position will help bring those young guys along up front and give them a lot of confidence.
When you look at that position, as you said, and the expectations that you had coming into it, how has it been? I know you haven't really had a chance to practice a lot, but how has it been, Bill's new offensive lineman in with such an experienced quarterback?
Well, it's been good. Jackson calls our offense a lot of times can, you got the chalk last and put those kids in a position to have success. Doesn't mean anybody in a bad spot or tough situation, so he can check to it and make sure that that our young guys are in a position they can succeed. And the opportunity that we have had to practice this summer with a couple different teams come in and practice with us and do some inside run and that kind of stuff. I think they're coming along really well, and I'm expecting them to continue to develop.
We know from back in the days when we were there all the time, you've always had such a terrific fan base, and there's been multiples to the stadium over the last several years. How has that been to be able to play at a facility they put time, effort, money, a turf field into, and the crowds continue to come out and support the program like they do every year?
Well, it's a great community. It's a community that really has its priorities straight, knows what the expectations are of high school athletics, and really support and appreciate the effort that our young men put in. It's everything we need to have success. Steve-O Stadium is one of the premier stadiums in the area, I think, and facility in whole, because our track is exceptional. And then what we have up here to practice on, where you spend 80% of your time on the practice field, it's exceptional. And it's just a great place to coach football, to raise a family, and to develop young men.
You mentioned some inexperience at the O-line and some experience at the quarterback spot, but looking at the receiver position and the running back spot, what do you have coming back there this year, Coach?
We have Donnie Ash will be a senior at one wide receiver spot. Dylan Monroy, a senior at the other receiver spot. And then our inside guys, Kate Turns from last year, had a really nice year last year, and then a young sophomore stepping up who might be our fastest football player, has a task of replacing Blaze Exline. Then our running back is a returning player, had a sophomore year last year, and expect him to really take some strides forward again this year in his junior campaign.
When you look at it, I read one of the articles, one of the previews said, the fourth highest scoring offense in the area last year at well over 40 points per game, and triggered by a quarterback that scored 55 touchdowns. How is it that you've discovered this offense that seems to the talent that you have there in Salem?
Well, yeah, I think that's a big key is, these guys are willing to put the time in. They love football, and they work hard at it. They study it. They come up with ideas on their own, and we try and implement those to really give them ownership of the offense. And like you said, we played 8 playoff teams last year. We played great football teams. The way that we can just kind of find ways to let these guys maximize abilities has really been good for us. And and we'll change our offense each year if we need to again fit our personnel. But just really happy with the way these guys have taken off with it, and we run everything the same K through 12. We're real involved with our youth league. So they've been doing the same thing since kindergarten, first grade, and all the way up into our junior high and lower level programs. So I think the reps and the time on task and the familiarity with it all is what's allowed us to be so productive.
Salem head coach Ron Johnson on the phone with us. Coach, let's go to the other side of the football. What do you have coming back defensively, and who are some players to step up for you on that side of the ball?
We feel really good about our defense. We have a lot of seniors that are involved in that returning also. Up front, we have John Kidd and Isaac LaFlame are all back and returning starters. Linebacker, Ethan Whitman's the guy in the middle that kind of makes all of the calls for us there. And then we'll surround it with some younger guys that I think he really provides a good example, communicates well with those guys, and we're excited about them. And then in the back end, we have a lot of guys back. Ross Davidson's back. Started for us as a freshman a few years ago and had a great sophomore year last year. Brandon Van Horn to another safety position. Then we have a couple guys battling for those other two spots, and Britt and Brand, who are both seniors, and Kyle Burch, a state wrestler last year, and really battling for a spot there as well.
I know, to my days covering the team and then even back further, special teams and the kick game has always been so solid in the Quaker program. And I know you're going to rely on that again this fall, correct?
Yeah. We have a young man back for his junior year that set every record, kicking record there was last year, with the exception of Brian Wright's long field goal that I'm sure you had the benefit of calling, but it's he's really a good football player. He's also a wide receiver and a stacker for us, Hayden Tomadievich, and he spends a lot of time working. He's worked a lot with Max Rickey, who's a first-team All-Ohio player here for us a couple of years ago at the kicking position, and he really takes it seriously and has done a great job with it. Our coverage teams are all of our young guys. We have a special forces unit where none of our starters are on our coverage teams. It's all young guys that are on the returning teams. And then they take a lot of pride in that. If they're going to get 15 to 18 snaps in a game, they're going to be very, very, very important snaps. Our return game is pretty exceptional also. So we feel good about special teams and know how important they are.
Coach, I remember that game well because I remember just how unbelievable the program was every year with all the school records. And as he was lining up for that kick, I remember us diving into the program to make sure we knew it was the record before the kick was attempted. So, yeah, that is definitely one of the memories that I remember from my days calling games there. I've been asking every coach the same question. The schedule, it's kind of similar to last year, to this year, when you can practice, when the scrimmages are, but there's not really a lot of time between when practice fully kicks in to that first scrimmage. Have you had to adjust how you're approaching things at all this year?
Well, not really. I tell you what I think's happened is the game is so different. I mean, back when I played in the day, a lot of coaches at the end of the season in October would say, "Hey, see you guys. We'll catch you again next August." And you needed to have a lot of preseason time and a lot of camp time. But the game has now evolved into a 365-day-a-year program. You're around your guys all the time. You can be in the weight room with them. You can have all the Google Classroom and Huddle and all the ways to teach them online and that kind of thing. And you can individually work with kids. So, aside from the hitting, which I think is actually a good thing that it's been reduced, it really hasn't hurt our preparation. It just changes how we do it and how long we do it. And by starting, all winter, all spring, all summer with our work days, we're prepared and ready to go and when the season starts.
Coach, for your Quaker fans that are listening to this, tell us about your upcoming scrimmages and where and when they are if they want to make the trip.
Okay, our first one we open on Friday up at Canfield. Our freshman will scrimmage at 4 o'clock and our varsity will scrimmage at 6 o'clock. And then the next Thursday, we have our Jamboree situation game with Springfield here at home at 7 o'clock.
Well, even your scrimmages, you're scheduling some programs that are going to have some quarterbacks that throw the football around. I was looking at your schedule. You're going to face some really good quarterback play this year, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, the EDC is exceptional for quarterback play. It's been really good the last couple of years, and Canton South losing them out of the league takes one of the great quarterbacks out of off of our schedule and out of our league. But we're filling that in with young man at Canton Central Catholic. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. He's a lot like Trent Toothman as far as talent-wise. He's a Division I linebacker recruit, but plays quarterback for them. Then the next week when we go to Padua Franciscan, they have an exceptional quarterback up there and a great wide receiver and a very good football team. So we've added some guys even along with our league schedule.
It definitely, it doesn't, you've got your rivalry game against West Branch, the last game of the year, and they've got a pretty good quarterback coming back there as well.
Yeah. Drew does a great job, and Tim's done a great job with that program offensively, and now he's in the head position, and I'm sure they'll keep that going. But between him and then the guy at Alliance, the Zerford kid's a heck of a football player. We see it week in and week out, and there's no. I think the quarterback position itself has evolved more than any other with the availability of camps and individual instruction and all that all these guys get, and the ability to throw it 365 days a year, with guys they're going to play with. I think that's really stepped up the performance level at that position.
Finally, Coach, this is the second year we've seen the number of playoff teams jump up to 16. And going back to when I first started, we were talking about 4 playoff teams, and it's changed so much over the years. What do you think about it is what it is. That's what we're going to play with under the current rules. But do you think it's too many? Do you like where it is? Do you have a number that you preferred?
Well, as a player, and then all the way through my career as a coach, I've been at since the inception of the playoffs. I mean, I've been involved with every number that they've had, the 2 and the 4 and the 8, now the projected 12 that went to everybody, and now the 16. The bottom line is, at the end of it all, there's still one champion, and that's what you're trying to get to. So I don't know if there's too many. I mean, I thought 8 was perfect, but 16 is fine. I mean, because the ultimate goal is to find out who the best football team is in each division in the state of Ohio. And this allows us to do it. So as long as it can continue to meet its goal, I think it's fine.
The other question, of course, is the fact that, we've added an extra round of playoffs. So if you play your regular season, go all the way to state championship, you're playing 16 games. It's more than a college schedule and just slightly less than an NFL schedule. It's a lot of games.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, you think about it, though. I mean, these guys work an entire year to get a maximum of 16 opportunities. They're young. They're excited. If we do a good job of conditioning their bodies and their minds and their outlook to stay locked in and focused, I mean, I don't think it's too many. I mean, you love to play the game. That's why you work so hard at doing what you do in preparation. So the longer they can play, the better.
Coach, great to catch up with you. Best of luck and health to you and your squad this upcoming season. And thank you for a couple minutes of your time this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much.
That was Salem head coach Ron Johnson in his 11th season at the helm for the Quaker program. I remember talking to Coach when he first took over that program down there in Salem, and he does a fantastic job. And they have one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the Valley. If you're looking to go see a great player, Jackson Johnson, 55 touchdowns last year, almost 3,000 yards through the air, and over 1,000 yards on the ground. Is one of the premier players you're going to want to check out. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have more By All Means on Western Reserve Radio.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football here on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete in the Gridiron Developmental Football League against top teams from across the nation in pursuit of a GDFL championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com or contact Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me.
like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Mill Creek Golf Course features 2 18-hole championship courses designed by Donald Ross that opened to the public in 1928. The PGA professionals and course staff are dedicated to giving golfers a memorable experience and offering everything from golf instruction packages to a Players Club reward program. The award-winning Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for the 2022 season. We are happy to announce that we are sold out for golf outings and tournaments. Follow us on Facebook or online at millcreekmetroparks.org or call the golf shop at 330-740-7112.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge, a part of the Sports Map Radio Network. Welcome back. By all means, continues here on Western Reserve Radio, brought to you by our friends at Mill Creek Golf Course. Visit millcreekmetroparks.org to book your tee time today. Thank you to Salem head coach Ron Johnson for joining us in the first segment. It's now time to dive into what's trending. And after getting caught by you, I don't remember what the question was last week, Dave. You were like, well, who is it then? I was like, well, I better do some more research for this week, so I'm a little bit more prepared.
Gotcha. And
so
are you?
We'll start.
But are
I
you?
am. I didn't put it all in the notes, but I have the information.
Gotcha.
So Browns training camp officially opens up tomorrow in Berea. And I don't even want to get to the Deshaun Watson and is it 2 games? Is it 8 games? Is it 16 games? So what are your expectations?
You know what?
For the upcoming season?
I was reading. Hang on one second.
I don't think the gate worked.
No, the gate didn't work.
Little inside joke.
Yeah. Until they get a quarterback situation figured out, I don't know what to think. In all honesty, I really don't know what to think.
And that's the thing, because, if Watson plays, it's probably not going to be the whole season. I mean, let's be honest about it. It's going to be, half, maybe. We'll see what officially is determined here when they make that announcement. The quarterback play after that is not great. I mean, we've been used to not great quarterback play. The defense is solid. The running game is incredible. The offensive line is good. So it's one of those, if the quarterbacks can do an adequate job and not turn the football over, I think they can be a playoff team. I'm not saying, 14-2. I'm saying, win, 8 or 9 games and go to the playoffs kind of situation.
I mean, if the run game holds stout, and it should, with Hunt and
Nick Chubb.
Chubb, yeah, geez.
Did you see the video this week where he was lifting like 600 pounds?
Yeah. Did you see the one where he was
weight that the bar almost gave away?
Yeah. There's also one out there of him leg pressing over 450.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the man's a beast. It's almost like he ended up doing defensive player. I can't think of names today. Today's a bad day.
Him and Myles Garrett must have been working out together.
That's exactly where I was going with it. It's like he's on the Myles Garrett regiment. So
some news out of Berea today from the Browns. They added a couple players to the PUP list. That is the physically unable to perform list. Includes a couple big names in tackle Jack Conklin, who's still got a little bit of a knee issue. Denzel Ward has a foot problem. They also placed 2 players on the non-active, non-football injury list. That's Sheldon Day, the defensive tackle with the back injury out of Notre Dame, and Anthony Walker Jr., the linebacker, has a groin issue. They also put Javon Wims on the non-active, non-football illness list today. So the Browns making a couple of roster moves heading into the beginning of camp tomorrow. And, we're not that far away from football because the Hall of Fame game is a week Thursday at absolutely beautiful Tom Benson Stadium at the Hall of Fame in Canton.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I had to walk away for a second. What was that?
I said the Hall of Fame game is next Thursday, so we're not that far from preseason football.
No, and it's going to be a fun game to watch. Raiders and the Jaguars go at it down in Canton. If you can go down, tickets are a little pricey, anywhere from $80 to $225 is what I saw. They're probably going higher than that, but it's a good time. But let's not forget while we're there, it's to induct the Hall of Famers.
Right, yeah, it's all about putting that Hall of Fame class in for this year. And you know what? That's the thing. I mean, the first preseason game, that's why people watch it, because it is the first preseason game. It's not, it's the lack of football. And, our starters going to play maybe a little, probably not much. So it's one of those, you're just watching that to watch football. You're not watching that to see maybe who are some guys that they're going to make your team if you're a fan of the Jags or the Raiders.
Right. And that's what it is too. It's a nice preseason game for the honor to even play for the game at Akron Canton. So, I mean, it's a beautiful facility. We were there for the USFL game. If you can go down. The facilities are just awesome down there.
And you know what? We've also got some breaking Steelers news that just came out recently. Head coach Mike Tomlin talked to reporters today and mentioned that Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Pro Bowl safety that they just signed to a long-term deal, will begin the year on the training camp part of the year on the non-football injury list. Tomlin mentioned that he is dealing with some discomfort at this point after suffering a wrist injury. Get a load of this, Dave. It's not expected to be serious, but it's believed to have happened when he fell off a bike. I don't know if this is an exercise bike, a bicycle, a motorcycle, a dirt bike. It just says bike. So, I mean,
yeah, they're letting it very vague, and they're all going to. Anybody that's going to be on any type of a list, DL or otherwise, at this early in the season, it's going to be very vague on why they're even on the list.
It's almost like a hockey playoff game where you get upper body injury, lower body injury, or you just get, injured.
Right. Well, at least he wasn't playing football with a bunch of 10-year-olds. So.
Nobody ever gets hurt doing that. That's always in your bag.
It is always in my bag. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we got.
All right. How about some baseball? I remember thinking this last week when I was seeing all the scores where the Blue Jays were absolutely annihilating the Red Sox. I don't know if you saw, there was a game last week, 28-5. The Blue Jays scored the most runs in franchise history, beating the Red Sox. And I was like, you know what I feel bad for? I feel bad for whoever the team is that Boston has to play next after getting drubbed by the Red Sox or by the Blue Jays. You know who that team is, Dave?
The Guardians.
That team is the Cleveland Guardians, who will play them 4 times in 4 days. That started yesterday with the loss at Fenway Park. The Guardians are going with a bullpen game today, so that means that probably will not go well for them either. And then they'll have 2 more games to play against the Red Sox at beautiful Fenway. But we talked about this vaguely last week. Guardians still with an outside chance of making the playoffs. It's one of those, if they make the playoffs, it's probably not going to go well. But on the other hand, you'd like to see them make the playoffs, because then this very young team knows what the playoffs is all about for maybe next year or the upcoming years to have had a little bit of experience in the postseason.
And right, that's kind of what you want. You kind of want You want them to make the playoffs for that exact reason. You need the experience. So come next year, because this team looks like they could, as long as they keep the same personnel, maybe drop a player here or there, because we all know that happens every year. But keeping this main core of this team together for next year, but making the playoffs this year will help them out come next year, because they're going to know what the expectations are, how it feels to be in a playoff situation, to be playing baseball in October.
Right, because it's a different game. It's the game, and it's played so differently than it was just a few years ago. Think about that run with the Indians when, Andrew Miller was used as a weapon out of the bullpen. That's kind of the way playoff baseball has become. If your starter can give you 4, 5, 6 is a lot. Those playoff teams have so much depth in their bullpen.
Right. Well, let's go back even farther than that. I remember a young player named Jared Wright that came up in the last couple weeks of the season and looked phenomenal during a playoff run.
Yeah, he also took the loss in 97.
And then he tanked after that. But hey.
Hey, official news from the Steelers Twitter. Defensive end Tyson Alu placed on the active PUP list. And as we mentioned, safety Minkah Fitzpatrick on the active NFL I list. So, of course, that is the non-football injury list for Minkah Fitzpatrick. And hopefully, he is able to get healthy quickly. Only got a couple minutes left, and I know the answer before I ask it, but I'm going to ask it just because. ESPN is in the middle of a 7-part series about the life of Derek Jeter. And one of our buddies texted me last night, and he said, "Hey, are you watching this?" And I said, "I'm recording it. I haven't watched any of it yet. I'll probably watch all 7 episodes because it's baseball and it's me." And those two things kind of go together. But here's the thing. I know ESPN loves themselves some Derek Jeter, but do they need 7 episodes to chronicle his life?
No, I don't think so. I mean, come on. We don't chronicle anybody's life with 7 episodes. Heck, Betty White got 1. So
right.
You want to give 7 episodes to somebody to chronicle their life? Do it for somebody that lived over almost 100 years.
I mean, great player, but I don't think it deserves 7 episodes.
No, I don't think so either. It's overkill. It's a Yankee thing. Come on, let's all be honest. It's a Yankee thing. Who cares? And you come to Northeast Ohio, we didn't give a crap about the Yankees.
Well, it's just like, it was the last couple of weekends. And, I can watch, I'm baseball obsessed, so I can watch any game I want. But it's one of those where all the primetime games, 2 weekends in a row, no matter what network they were on, were Red Sox Yankees for 2 weekends straight.
Yeah, I did notice that because I was flipping and I'm like, baseball. It's the Yankees again. Okay,
right.
shut it off.
Yankees, Red Sox. So that game will last 5 hours before it's over.
And it did, I swear.
Next week, let everyone know we are back in the palatial Gessler Propane Studios. Actually, the next 2 weeks, we'll be back in the studios. Everybody else previously spoken for engagements next week. So Ryan Briggs, the sports information director from Grove City College, and somebody that I can absolutely, and Dave knows this for a fact, baseball nerd out with. Briggsy and I will be doing the show from studio from 5 to 6 o'clock next Tuesday. Might have some Scrappers tickets for you. So we got a lot going on for that show. And of course, it's baseball trade deadline day. More high school football talk coming up next, by all means.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Mill Creek Golf Course features two 18-hole championship courses designed by Donald Ross that opened to the public in 1928. The PGA professionals and course staff are dedicated to giving golfers a memorable experience and offering everything from golf instruction packages to a Players Club reward program. The award-winning Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for the 2022 season. We are happy to announce that we are sold out for golf outings and tournaments. Follow us on Facebook or online at millcreekmetroparks.org or call the golf shop at 330-740-712.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
And we're going to go back to the phones, talk some more high school football. We did this exactly a year ago, and so nobody is confused. We are joined by Mark Means, assistant coach for the Sharpeville-Boudeville football program. Mark is also my cousin. We just spell our names a little bit differently. Cousin, it's good to catch up with you. How you been?
Yeah, hey, Mark. It's really nice to catch up with you and be back on the show again. It's crazy. 1 year ago to the day. Wow, time flies when we're having fun, that's for sure. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
No, I'm doing great. Hey, I want to ask you, you're now into year 2 of the co-op between West Middlesex and Sharpsville. And I'm sure, there were a lot of things to, kind of get used to, get comfortable with, get the players to know each other. How have things improved now in year 2 where that's kind of behind you?
Yeah, Mark, it's great. Last year we did not have a summer together, so now the kids have been together, for the last few months, and that's really boding well with the team. They're really coming together, and we kind of have a better understanding of what's going on as opposed to last year, kind of later getting ready to start the season.
And you look at this year, and we talked to the Farrell head coach last week. Talking some more Western Pennsylvania this week. New league for everybody: Sharon, Hickory, Grove City, Slippery Rock, Wilmington, Greenville, Farrell, and Sharpsville, all in the league together this year. Boy, that's going to be challenging. There's a lot of good programs there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely exciting. We're excited about it. It's nice to be able to play, crosstown rivals and renew some rivalries of the past. There's, like you said, a lot of great coaches in the area. With Wilmington, Coach Fillion, Coach Dungy over at Hickory, Sharon, Coach McElhaney. You go down the list. There's so many good coaches, and it's going to make an exciting matchup week in and week out.
When you look at the preseason, just kind of starting to get underway. For everyone that's not familiar with, Pennsylvania high school football will start a week later than Ohio, like they typically have. How has the preseason gone? And when you look at it, I'm sure you've got some younger players that need to step up and fill some graduating roles from last year.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I mean, we have that, every year. It's a new thing. We lost some big-time players last year, and Jacob Rust and Dom Alfredo, Andrew Fry, on the line. So those are going to be some big shoes to fill for our guys. And then the likes of Ian Smith and Zach Tedrow and Chris Roth. We lost some good running backs and linebackers to the senior class. So there are guys that are going to have to step up. The one good thing is we got quite a few key guys coming back, especially at the quarterback position, Colin Summers and Garen Levis at the wide receiver position. Those two were kind of a nice dynamic duo offensively. So it's really coming along. Some of the new guys are stepping up and starting to try to fill those roles as best as they can.
You know, Mark, over here in Ohio, the last couple of years, we've really seen the offensive numbers explode. And you go to a school and sometimes they may not even have had a 1,000-yard passer. And, you know, lately you look and there's a 3,000-yard passer here, a 2,000-yard passer here. And as a defensive-minded coach, has that passing game, like it's exploded here in Ohio, has that really taken off over in Western Pennsylvania?
Well, yeah, I think, Mark, we're going to find that out a little bit more with this new league that we're in, playing the likes of Hickory, Grove City. You know, Grove City is spread you out, fast pace, you know, trying to get the ball out and the snap off, you know, in 15, 20 seconds. Kind of same thing with Hickory. They're kind of fast paced, a little bit more college style RPOs and things like that. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that than what we are used to in our other division, when a lot of it is just running the football, a lot of power football. So I definitely see that. And even for us, traditionally, we're a Delaware wing T style offense, and now we're a little bit more gun T this year.
We've seen some teams kind of develop that where, you know, you still have the elements of a wing style offense, but there's still some spread elements to it. Defensively, is it about, you know, matching up, or is it more about, you know, getting the play called and getting everybody lined up properly when those offenses are snapping the ball, you know, 15, 20 seconds between plays?
Yeah, it's really a little bit of both, but we want to definitely be able to communicate the coverage in the back end and make sure that we get guys aligned correctly. Not maybe so much matching up man for man, but, you know, a lot of zone coverages and things, and we got to make sure that we're communicating as those zone coverages may change depending on the motions and what the offense is trying to do to us. So, yeah, it's definitely coming down to communication always to get aligned correctly to make sure we don't leave somebody open.
In your philosophy defensively, you talk about, you know, a zone read style offense. Do you prefer to, I'm trying not to, you know, give stuff away, but still be curious. Do you prefer to, you know, put a spy on that quarterback? Or are you going to line people up in specific spots in the field and just hope that they can make a play?
No, it's more specific to reading their man. So that will change depending on what that individual is doing across from you. We will adjust our zone to man concepts accordingly. We always have somebody looking at the quarterback as well. So we're not just putting somebody out in space in a zone and just kind of sitting there. We are playing the man versus just a space or an area.
You know, when you look at that league, you're kind of going back and forth. Some of these are turf facilities. Some of these are grass facilities. Does it factor into preparation that week, knowing, okay, we might be a step faster if we're heading to the turf at Hickory compared to when you're on the road playing a team that's on a grass facility?
I don't know. I mean, I think it kind of goes both ways. I think we're faster as well if we're on turf. So I think the only downside to it is not having turf, at your facility to be able to kind of get on it until the playoffs is when we're really allowed to do that. So there could be a slight disadvantage of maybe snapping the football or whatever, but really, I think it kind of works both ways, that our guys can be equally as fast. They're going to be faster and they're going to be able to get to the football. But obviously, if you're playing a team maybe as caliber of Farrell or something like that, it can really hurt you too.
I know you've coached over there in Western Pennsylvania, but have followed some of the changes that have happened here in Ohio. We're starting the earliest we ever have on August 18th. There's 6 rounds of playoff games, so you're playing potentially 16 games if you're getting into the state championship. I know the student athlete is evolving and getting bigger, stronger, faster, but it does seem like we're asking a lot with, limited practice time, more games, 16 games played here in Ohio. I know they haven't gotten quite that far in Pennsylvania yet, but it is asking a lot out of the student athlete.
Yeah, it does. And I kind of wish that we would be able to eliminate one of the games and add another scrimmage. I think that would be more productive and more safe for the student athlete to be able to, be able to kind of acclimate yourself to the contact. I mean, for us, we get one scrimmage, and we all know that the starting guys you think might be going in there are only going to get a limited amount of time, and then you're going to put the other guys in. Obviously we don't get anybody hurt. So I think that second scrimmage would be more beneficial than having an extra game.
Giving an opportunity because you said you don't want to play your starters if it's just one scrimmage, so you get more of a what would you say, like a live read of some of your younger players that haven't really got a lot of reps in big time games to see what they can do.
Yeah, not only that, you can evaluate. You get two shots to evaluate, and a little bit longer you can put your starters in maybe on the second go around or first go around with the scrimmages, so we can evaluate them based on having that second scrimmage as well, plus seeing the younger guys one more time before it's the actual game time. So it kind of helps us figure out who's really going to be plugged in what position and things like that. We have that second scrimmage, as well as also acclimating them to actually contact and playing a little bit longer. You can probably go in the second scrimmage maybe a full quarter or something like that to kind of get you acclimated to actual football.
Just about ready to wrap up our conversation with Mark Means, who was an assistant coach at Sharpsville, a cousin. We do share a name. If you're listening to the radio going, what is going on here? But as we wrap things up, I was just curious, in this second year of the co-op, Mark, what are the numbers like? Do you have a good amount of kids out for football?
Yeah, I think we're going to be looking at about 40 total varsity guys. From Middlesex, we have about 13 players that has come over for varsity. So the numbers are almost about exactly the same from last year. We're just going to have 6 seniors this year opposed to 3 from last year.
And that, I'm sure that experience will help when the team gets into a difficult situation. What would you say are a couple of keys in year 2 of this co-op for the group to have success again?
Yeah, it's going to be coming together again. I mean, every year it's a little bit different. You lose some guys, you get some new guys. So it's always gelling together. And, for offensively, for us is going to be, just being able to pass to kind of set up our run, which is something that, something traditionally not what we're used to. We're used to running the football and then setting up our pass. And then defensively, I think we're pretty good and solid in the secondary. So our linebacking core is young, and they don't have a lot of experience. So we're going to need to have those guys step up at the linebacker position and a little bit on the defensive line and offensive line as well. I think that's where our team is really going to need to step up for us to have the success that we are really looking forward to having this season.
Well, Mark, I couldn't believe it when I looked at we did this exactly a year ago, and you've always been great. You've come on the show several times. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get you in the studio for a couple hours to talk some football, but appreciate it as always. Best of luck to you, the Blue Devils, and health to the squad, because I know that's always a key in a successful season.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark. I really appreciate you having me on again, and I enjoy it. I'm excited to always get on here and talk a little bit of football with you, and I appreciate that. Hopefully we can get together and I can get in the studio with you.
Absolutely. With you doing a little radio commentary, we'll see what we could work out in the future.
That sounds like a plan. I would be definitely taking you up on that.
That is Mark Means, assistant coach for the Sharpsville Blue Devils, and my cousin who joins us on the phone as we wrap up this segment here on a By All Means, and it will wrap up our high school football coaches conversation for the year. Thank you to all of the coaches who joined us over the last couple of months. Pretty much every Tuesday we had at least 1, 2, sometimes 3 coaches joining the show and thank them for taking their time. We saw coaches call on vacation in the middle of 7-on-7s during practices. So we know how much we appreciate what they have done to join the show. We'll wrap it up right after this on By All Means.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio, home of the Youngstown Phantoms, on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
Mill Creek Golf Course features two 18-hole championship courses designed by Donald Ross that opened to the public in 1928. The PGA professionals and course staff are dedicated to giving golfers a memorable experience and offering everything from golf instruction packages to a Players Club reward program. The award-winning Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for the 2022 season. We are happy to announce that we are sold out for golf outings and tournaments. Follow us on Facebook or online at millcreekmetroparks.org or call the golf shop at 330-740-7112.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio on westernreserveradio.com.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio.
Wrapping things up on By All Means here on Western Reserve Radio, brought to you by Mill Creek Metro Parks Golf Course. Go to millcreekmetroparks.org to book your tee time today. Thank you to our coaches who joined us today. First segment, that was Ron Johnson, veteran head coach of the Salem Quakers. You just heard my cousin, Mark Means, the other Mark Means, who is an assistant coach with the Sharpsville Blue Devils. As we talked some Western Pennsylvania football the last two Tuesdays to wrap up our high school football coach. Just